Hi, I'm Beth Sajinsky, Marketing Manager at Food for Thought here in Lincolnwood, Illinois. Here at Food for Thought, we're very large supporters of the LGBT community, and we couldn't be more excited about the Illinois Marriage Equality Act going into effect this June. Today, I'm here to introduce Nick Sutton, Executive Chef here at Food for Thought.
Thank you. I'm here to just do a little bit of a play on basically an item that would be good for sort of a brunch atmosphere. It's a sausage bite. So what I'm going to start off doing first is actually preparing the sausage mix, and then I'm going to move into making the pancake batter. But first I will start with the sausage mix. So first we have 8 ounces of an Italian kind of mild sausage mix. And then 8 ounces of ground chuck, kind of an 80-20 mix. And then I have about 1 medium onion that's been diced, sauteed, a little bit of garlic, sweated out. Add that in there. I'm going to season it a little bit with just some salt, cracked pepper. And add some parsley, about 2 tablespoons. Kind of a preference, I guess. I'm going to add 2 eggs, just cracked. And then I'm going to move into some breadcrumbs. I like using the panko breadcrumbs. I lightly toasted them and then grind it down. I think it works a little bit better than using your standard breadcrumb. They're a little bit airier. It won't kind of compress the mixture down and make it dry or tough. So I like using these for that. So that's about a cup. Kind of depends, I guess, on what you're actually using. But I'm just going to mix it up really lightly. You don't want to overmix the batter or the mixture because it can actually get tough if you overmix it. And then once you're done mixing this, you'll form it into like a little, 1 ounce, 2 ounce ball. Place it on a sheet pan, roast it in an oven about 350 degrees for about 10 minutes until it's just cooked through. And then that's basically what the mixture will look like when it's done. Nice and incorporated, still a little moist, wet, not really dry. And again, that's going to help with the doneness of the meatball. After it's been roasted, we're left with basically a standard meatball. Then I'm going to take this now, dip it into a pancake batter, and then fry it and make like a little beignet essentially with the sausage in the middle. So the next thing I'm going to do is work on the pancake batter itself. So this is a 1.5 cups of flour, all-purpose. And there's a pinch of salt, a tablespoon of sugar, and 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder in here. And you want to sift it because it'll help it actually prevent it from getting lumps, so everything gets evenly incorporated. And then from there we're going to add 1.25 cups of milk. And this is 3 tablespoons of just standard melted butter, usually unsalted, just for flavor reasons and seasoning purposes. And then just 1 egg. You don't want to overmix this either, just for the purpose of the gluten that's in the flour. If you overmix it, beat it too hard, it'll actually, it can make it tough. So just until it gets incorporated, and it's okay if there's a couple of lumps in there, just because it's just kind of a standard process when you're putting the batter together. So, and when you're done with that, this is what I have here. And you want to let your batter sit for probably a good 10 minutes because it'll actually let the baking powder and everything kind of activate, and it'll kind of lighten up the batter as well, so that's helpful. So now I have a fryer on at 350 degrees. Obviously at home you probably don't have one of these, so you can just take a standard saucepan, kind of heavy bottom if you have it, fill it about halfway up with oil. I would turn your burner probably on about medium-low and let it heat up for a good half an hour beforehand so the oil can get hot. And the good way to test it would be to actually just take a little bit of the pancake batter and drop it into the oil. And if it starts sizzling, then you're in good shape. And then you'll kind of get a gauge on, how far off it is. If it's too hot, then you need to turn it down. You can always add a little bit of oil to it. If it's too hot, it'll help it cool it down. So for that, I'm just going to take this, dip it right into the pancake batter. And this will only take about probably 2 minutes in the fryer. And I like to hold it there for about a good 10 seconds or so. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to form a skin on the outside. And you're looking to just get the batter kind of golden brown. And we're going to let that go for about 2 minutes or so. And then when you pull it out, you get a nice encasing of the sausage that's been dipped in the pancake batter. And that's it. We'll move this over here. I kind of thought using stuff like citrus would go really well with this. All right, so what I'm gonna do after I did the sausage bites is I'm gonna show you guys how to make the aerated goat cheese. In a saucepan, I have 12 ounces of heavy cream, whipping cream, 4 ounces of buttermilk. Then you can just bring it up to a scald until it starts steaming off, and then you know it's hot. So basically what you're trying to do is just melt the goat cheese down. So the goat cheese, just kind of a standard goat cheese. I have 4 ounces here. That goes in there. Some honey, which will help sweeten it out. There's about 4 ounces in here. And then what we have is a gelatin sheet. I'm just gonna take this, you gotta add a little bit of water to it, just to kind of temper it a little bit. So this will just take a few seconds for that to temper. We're gonna add that into the bowl. We're gonna top it off with the cream, buttermilk, whisk it until it's kind of homogeneous and well incorporated. Add a little bit of salt. And then it's gonna go into our ISI chargers. You can actually buy these online in any sort of, even Amazon has these as well if you wanted to go with these. The basic cream charger. And what it's gonna do is it's basically gonna just make like a goat cheese mousse. So it's gonna aerate it out. It's gonna get nice and smooth. Just gonna take this and just pour it right over the mixture. You just gotta work it a little bit, just for a couple of minutes so the goat cheese gets a little bit soft. This will probably take a total of like 3 or 4 minutes to kind of let it come together. And then all you're gonna do is take that, pour it into your ISI canister, charge it with 2 of the CO2 chargers. Again, you can buy all this stuff on Amazon.com. And if you don't have any of this, you can certainly just take some goat cheese, put it into a bowl, kind of let it come out to room temperature, add a touch of cream, a little bit of honey, and just kind of give it a little whip. And it'll work basically the same way. But if you want to get a little fancy and you want to impress your partner, this would be a good thing to do. So then this is just going to pour right in there, hopefully go in and not all over the place. As it goes everywhere, yeah, you know. Okay. So these are what the little chargers look like. When you want to use these, screw this back on. This is actually what's going to inject the CO2 right into the canister. Give it a little shake. Set that off again. Do one more. All right, then what you want to do is you want to let this set up in the refrigerator for about an hour or two. And what it's going to do is basically just cool it down completely. It's still pretty hot. That cold CO2 that goes in there is obviously going to cool it down a little bit, but it's going to help if you just let it sit for a couple hours. And then what you're left with is this. So you basically just get an aerated goat cheese mixture when you're all done with it. And again, you can get the same effect again if you just take a little softened goat cheese, kind of mix it up, add a little bit of cream, some honey, you'll kind of get the same effect. And then also what I'm going to put on this is a yuzu meringue. Yuzu is basically a Japanese citrus liquid. You can kind of find that anywhere. If you don't have that, don't want to get it, just use lemon juice. Lemon juice will kind of work the same way. And then it's basically just going through making essentially a meringue. And you can just take that by whipping your egg whites the easiest way. Just whip your egg whites, add a little bit of sugar, finish it off with the yuzu, a little bit of salt. And once you got stiff peaks, you're gonna wanna take it, put it on a baking sheet with a little bit of parchment, kind of lay it out, put your oven on really low temperature, less than 200 is good, and you'll let it go preferably overnight if possible. And what you're gonna be left with is almost essentially a cracker with the meringue. So you can kind of break it off, do some nice little shards. It'll just be a nice element, I think, with the citrus and everything else. So what I'm gonna do next is just basically plate it up. Take our little sausage bites, just kind of cut them in half so you can actually expose it. So then you get like a nice little sausage bite with a kind of sweet waffle around it. It's kind of a nice combination. So I'm going to put a couple of those there. And then for the citrus component, these are blood oranges. Usually available kind of in the wintertime, summertime. They're not year round. If you can't find blood oranges, just use your standard kind of navel orange. If they happen to have a cara orange, they're basically a blood orange, but it's kind of a hybrid between the two. So you can use those as well. Or you can basically just use whatever kind of citrus you want, whatever you guys like to use. So. Again, these are the Meyer lemons that I'm using now. A little bit sweeter, not as acidic. And this is the aerated goat cheese mousse that I made before. Let's do a couple of dollops of that. And what I'm going to finish it off with is the yuzu meringue. And you're kind of left with this really kind of thin, because it'll kind of separate out a little bit once you got a little bit of heat on. Then it'll kind of crack off, and it'll just add a nice citrus element, a little bit of crunch to the plate. That's kind of it. That's my little take on pancake bites with sweet waffles, the aerated goat cheese, a little citrus, and the yuzu meringue. All right, so to cap off the brunch for today, I'm gonna make a drink for you guys to kind of play off of the sausage bite I made with the citrus. Basically, it's a bourbon-based drink with some blood orange to, again, play off of that with some lime juice and a little bit of basil. So to get started, I am going to just get a standard shaker, add a little bit of ice. And then it's going to be 1.5 ounces of bourbon. And I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of the blood orange juice. If you don't have blood orange juice, you can use regular orange juice. Trying to get it on the table. And I'm going to do 1 ounce of lime juice. And then I'm going to just take a little bit of basil and just kind of tear it. Actually put it into the drink. Do a little bit of a shake. Right. Okay. Pour it in. And then just to finish it off, I'm going to use a little bit of club soda. Just a splash, give it a little bit of carbonation. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the blood orange segments that we used before and just put it into the drink for some garnish. And a little bit of the Meyer lemon as well. So to cap it off, I'm going to bring Bess back in to do a little toast.
Thanks, Nick. On behalf of myself, Nick Sutton, and everyone here at Food for Thought, congratulations on your upcoming nuptials. We can't wait to celebrate with you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's really good.